Contrary to what you may have heard on many Tinder dates, smaller isn't always better.
Emotional damage!
Part of prospecting is getting into remote locations where less people have been because there is usually more gold there. But it always seems to be the case that when you get there, you're there with a pan and a shovel, and a pan can only move so much dirt in a day. What you really need is a mini wash plant like that. This is the Gold Trek Pro by Crux Prospecting. It's a 6-inch high banker made out of completely recycled plastic, and it is absolutely the lightest high banker on the market. And the whole Long Tom package packs up inside itself and fits in a small backpack. I'm running it off by Little Honda Pump. You know, Honda, the maker of the Hilux. I've used this for a grand total of 10 whole minutes. I just want to use it on camera to get my first impressions, because the first few shovels I put through it were really good. Often, smaller, lighter equipment made for prospecting is terrible. It's actually a really hard thing to get right, and in this case, it seems like they got it right, but we're going to find out in the long term. I've been super fortunate to be able to try many different types of high bankers like this one over the years. The thing is, they all work. Catching gold really isn't that much of a complicated science. The basic working principles of high bankers are you put the dirt in the hopper, the water washes the rocks, those rocks become clean, and the dirt travels down a chute onto the sluice run. And the matting system you have in your sluice box catches all of your gold. Pretty straightforward. What makes it complicated is dragging all the pumps, hoses, high bankers, shovels, pans, and every other little thing you need out into the bush. And in order to do that, people have been trying to make lighter and smaller high bankers now for a really long time. And this is often done at the cost of efficiency. But it would seem that Crux has it right. We haven't lost efficiency, it's super light, and it's very easy to set up. That, sir, reads as an impressive resume. This spot here is a clay pan. So this clay pan usually sits directly on top of the bedrock. There's no gold in the clay itself, but the gravel that accumulates on top of it often sheds its gold and it sticks to it like a piece of sticky tape. So I'm just going to clean this small area up. This support strut here that keeps the hopper up actually has several grooves available to it, so you can increase the pitch, meaning that you can get gravels just to slide off without having to manually do them. Because I'm working clay, I want an opportunity to massage the dirt.
Nice.
Hence we're running it flatter. You get a drop riffle style of matting in with this sluice box, which is pretty cool because I'm a big fan of drop riffle sluicing, particularly recently. But today isn't about whether or not we're losing lots with that matting, it's more about having a go of the high banker itself. I do like that it's grooved up the top. I don't think that's really going to reveal any gold or anything to us, but it is cool. It definitely funnels all the dirt and black sand that would have landed on that bed into these center channels, and then hopefully directly down the center of your mat. And I've never seen a spray bar system like this. You can actually remove this. There's bolts on the underside of this that you undo, and this pops off for cleaning or whatever else you might need to do. And they're the only bolts you need tools for. Everything else is completely toolless, which is freaking awesome. I mean, who has a 10 mil just lying around, right? Every other high banker I've ever had to use requires some kind of tool. And really, you only want one tool in the entire operation, and that's usually yourself. This is the tiny gold we're trying to catch with this high banker. And generally speaking, if you can catch that tiny gold in any kind of system, you're doing all right. Go with your friends! There are only two things I look for when I'm talking about ultralight prospecting equipment like this. The first one is, can I put a full shovel in the hopper? I like my full shovels in hoppers. Anything less than that is just not acceptable. The second is, does it make me want to jump off a bridge when I'm setting it up and packing it down? Because if it does, then I don't want to be involved with it. And thankfully, in this case, it's super simple to set up. More long-term testing is going to be needed, but from what I could tell on this run, it was a very ergonomic, efficient, and fast method of processing a lot of dirt quite quickly. Given how many high bankers I've used in the past, it's actually surprising to get features on a high banker that I haven't seen before. And given just how light this thing is, I'm curious to know if I get enough rain at some hard rock mines, could I walk this in and process some gold ore? If you would like to see that video, consider hitting hitting the subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments below. One of the things that was blowing me away was the hopper design. This naughty girl could take an entire shovel, but more importantly than that, the grooves at the bottom genuinely work to funnel the dirt down the center of the chute. In turn, putting your gold directly in contact with the center of your mat, which is where you want your gold because it's harder for it to run away.
It sounds like the petrol dinosaur is out of juice. It's the winter solstice, I ran out of electric dinosaur juice, and I got a 45-minute run, which I'm happy with for a play. This level of flap is really good. And we have some seriously thick black sand in there. I don't think we're going to see gold. Oh no, we can. There is gold there. Right there. We actually have a little bit of visible gold, which is cool. This being a long tom setup means that you are going to get a lot more cons, but it also means you're not going to have to clean out as much. And I'm genuinely happy with this top hopper. This doesn't seem to retain any gold, which you don't really want it to anyway, but it does show you the black sand and some of the gold moving down the box, which means you can keep an eye on what kind of gravel you're running. One of the biggest mistakes people make is just running all the gravel expecting that they're going to get gold evenly throughout all of it. So that hopper just helps you keep track that you are actually on the gold and black sand while you're digging.
Now, the mat comes in 4 pieces when you get it, and you can tape it together to make it fit as one cohesive unit, but I left them separate so I could do later tests. It will be really interesting to see what type of gold ends up in what part of the mat. Test you can't really do with other matting systems.
That's all clean. That's our cons. And this is why we got a catch pan, because there's a lot of black sand in this.
And yes, that's one of Garrett's cleanup pans. It's awesome.
It'll definitely be worth going over again at home. We probably didn't get that much gold. I'm going to guess maybe a quarter gram or something like that. But for a run, that was an impressive little machine to use. Got rid of all that and took it down to just the heaviest, densest parts of the black sand. And we have got gold. It's not an insignificant amount either. There is gold all through that. That's super typical of my area. The gold is glacial, so very, very fine. And we are not on the richest spot of this kind of gold. However, the high banker did a good job considering it's catching the finest of fine gold in my area. I even got a couple of happy little flakes. For all intents and purposes, that is a very fun high banker. I'm going to figure out if it's got some real practical uses here in the northeast of Victoria over the next couple of weeks and hopefully months. So you can expect to see a little bit more of that. But for now, that's the futuristic high banker from Futureland. Here in Backwards Land, where everything's upside down and yesterday. I mean tomorrow. Wait, we are in Futureland, because everything is tomorrow.
Time zones are confusing, and that's why Fern is relaxing. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you did enjoy it. Remember to check out the Old Moldy if you want to help support the channel, where you can pick up some pay dirt and gemstones. And until the next adventure, I will see you next time.